Welcome back, everybody, to These Aren't the Nerds You're Looking For. Lorenzo and sitting here with
Kevin Horde.
How you doing, my man?
Doing well.
Today we're going to be talking Padawan Lost. This is Season 3, Episode 21 of the Clone Wars. Pretty much the start of the season finale, yes?
Yeah, I would say so. Production 316. Air date is April 1st of 2011.
For the U.S.
For the...
other one, yeah, there's a triple date. Yeah, so April 1st, 2011 for the U.S. UK got it first March 19th, 2011, and then Canada got it still before the U.S. on March 25th, 2011.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Yeah, so in the UK, essentially aired the following week, but there was a small hiatus of a couple of weeks, it looks like, for the U.S.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I got nothing there. Yep.
But so was this aired as like part one of a finale? Because...
Yeah, I can tell you right now that the next episode, Wookiee Hunt, was aired on the same day in the U.S., April 1st, 2011.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yep, so it aired as a two-part season finale for U.S., which is an interesting strategy to have a couple of weeks off and then go, hey, season finale, right? Like, usually you want to keep the momentum going up to that. But,
yeah, it was it was a 3-week break from that Citadel arc to... Well, it's weird because the Citadel was on February 18th, and then there was a 2-week break, and then Counterattack, then a 1 week, and then a wrap-up, and then a 3-week break, and then the end of the season. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with that planning, but I feel like whoever put that plan together would not be good at Sims.
No. Yeah, so it's I don't understand that release date strategy. I got nothing for it.
Do you
director
have
for this one?
There we go. I was going to ask you.
Dave Filoni, and writer is Bonnie Mark.
Cool.
Yep. And then the fortune cookie for this one is Without Humility, Courage is a Dangerous Game.
Who you got?
Actually, I didn't think about this one. The other one was so obvious, but this one, I don't know.
Qui-Gon popped into my head.
That makes sense. Yeah.
No, definitely not a direct quote, but in the vein of some type of advice or some thing that Qui-Gon would talk about, I think would kind of be in the same ballpark here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Newsreel?
Yep. So basically a full setup for this episode. Nothing based on previous episodes whatsoever. We have some business happening out in the Outer Rim. Essentially, Grievous is doing more stuff. Jedi, therefore, want to head out to Felucia. We're headed back to Felucia, right?
Yeah.
There's a battle between Republic and Separatists out there in Felucia, so...
Yeah, so it seems like the Separatists are in control of Felucia. A tank battalion was sent in, led by Anakin and Ahsoka, and Grievous gets word that this battle is ongoing and sends backup. Now, I thought it was interesting that Grievous is name-dropped and shown in the newsreel, and then you do not see in the rest of the episode.
No. We're going to talk, obviously, about the episode, but I have a lot of feelings about things we see in the episode, only to then not see them for the rest of the episode, sort of.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. So basically, the whole episode starts with a big battle on Felucia. Or we start out with the Jedis like planning their attack strategy. So we have Plo Koon, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka. Plo Koon is giving Anakin and Ahsoka directions on where they're going to attack. They're going to flank here. We're going to go front door. We'll attack from over here. That sort of thing, right?
Yep.
We lead into a big old battle scene. Very big battle scene. People are scaling walls. Ahsoka's scaling walls.
Is it a big old battle scene?
Well, it's a long battle scene, shall we say, for the intro of this episode. So Anakin kicks in the front door, sort of thing. Battle happens, and then basically they capture the base. Right?
Yeah. The reason I asked, is it a big old battle scene, is because it seems kind of easy for these guys.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
Like, there's a couple cool moments. These ATTE tanks, the walkers, the 6-footed walkers, are finally used as fucking tanks. And, like,
right.
They're not just, like, marching up front and shooting some blasters, you know? They're stationed, like, further back. And then when everybody is, like, at the location where they need to be, I think Plo Koon orders the tanks to fire. And they fire from far away.
Mm-hmm.
And they blast some ballistics, like, just in the general direction of what's going on of this base, right? And then this tactical droid that's in charge of the battle droid army that's there and all the reinforcements does, like, the worst thing and opens the drawbridge. He's like, oh, we just got shot with a tank. Open the drawbridge. Open the front door. And then Anakin just walks in.
Yep.
Walks in.
Yep. Yeah.
And then there's, like, a whole bunch of, like, blasters and slashing and fighting. 15 battle droids die on screen here.
Okay. Yeah.
0 clones.
Yep.
Now, we can surmise that more battle droids were taken out because, yeah.
There's a lot of action happening in the peripheries that we don't see, per se.
Right, and then...
Anyway, yeah. The thing is, so, here's the thing. So, like, all of that happens, and then clones start heading in. So, Ahsoka's unit starts walking in, right?
Yep.
And then this is where the inciting incident of the episode proper finally fucking happens.
Okay.
Is that during the battle, Ahsoka is, like, feeling something weird in the wilderness of Felucia here.
Yep, she's sensing something in the Force.
Right. And then clones are like, cool, we'll head on in. She's like, okay, go ahead. I'm going to check on something. And then she gets caught in a stun net. Like,
yep.
A net that is shot at her. She gets stuck to a wall, goes unconscious, and some Trandoshan dude walks out from behind a tree and then kidnaps her.
Yep.
Yeah, like, that's why I was, like, rushing over the battle, because it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
I think that Dave Filoni noticed that too, because he does the same thing and rushes over the battle.
But, like, why have the battle to begin with? There are so many other easy ways to start this episode off that don't involve, like, a 3 to 5 minute battle sequence.
I don't know, because it's cool. Like
it's
I totally didn't have a problem with it. It's, you know,
it's such a weird opener. Like, okay. It'd be one thing if it was like a James Bondian thing that, like, does eventually sort of lead into whatever. But, you know, like, there's always sort of a standalone Bond action sequence. Sometimes they affect things that happen later. Sometimes they are kind of just setting up a tone. This does nothing. This doesn't set up a tone for the episode. It doesn't set up where our players need to be. Like, there's no, like, Anakin and Plo essentially have no real weight on the rest of this episode.
Not at all.
Yeah. So
I think they pop up like twice more.
Right. So that's where I find this whole battle completely pointless. It's a battle scene for battle's sake, just so that the finale can start with a whiz-bang action sequence. And then Ahsoka just gets taken down, like, super easily. You know, she's like, and why is she feeling the Force with this Trandoshan?
Like, I don't think it wasn't the Trandoshan. It was the other. There is another being that is taken prisoner.
Okay, that's right. Yeah,
it's Yak Face, right? Is it Yak Face? No, it's not Yak Face.
No.
It's So, forgive me, didn't do my research on this. The alien species is, I think, one that is seen in the cantina scene in A New Hope, but this creature is like hiding, unnamed character. Ahsoka can feel that this creature is hiding, and I think she like knows something's going on, can't figure it out. She's still trying to concentrate on the mission. They do have this battle thing going on. This Trandoshan does capture her, crushes her comm. They're taking off planet. Mm-hmm. The rest of the time that we see Anakin, he is like insistent on looking for Ahsoka. So
Yep.
Your issue with the battle at the beginning of this totally did not hit me at all. My question was, how much time do you think has passed between the Citadel and this episode? Because the main Jedi players are still there. Plo, Anakin, Ahsoka. We don't have Obi-Wan. That's fine. He always goes and does his own thing. But it's like it's the same group that we had at the end of the last one. But we did make that pit stop to Coruscant, and then there's definitely been some time that has passed because this battle has been going on for a while, and these people are meant to come in and close that shit up, right?
Yeah. Possibly a few weeks.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, it felt to me like it was longer than that, but I don't really know. So let's move forward and get to the meat and potatoes of this actual episode. The Padawan is lost. Ahsoka is taken off planet. She's taken to a moon of Trandosha.
Yep. Waska.
Waska.
Is
this
that's
name?
how I'm pronouncing it.
I'm down. It's Waska.
Waska.
Not unnamed in the episode, right?
Yeah, not at all. Not mentioned once.
I like that.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even realize it was a moon. I was just like, oh, they're just going to this place.
Yeah.
Did somebody mention it's a moon at all?
No.
I don't think anybody even mentions the
Wikipedia
moon.
does.
Yeah, Wookiee does. But yep, I honestly didn't know where they were headed.
Nope.
I just know we started the episode in Felucia again. See, so we get this like big newsreel setting up Felucia, and then nope, we're off in this other planet.
Yeah, I guess because I'm feeling your annoyance a little more because there is a newsreel that says this is what has fucking happened.
Yeah.
They could just be like, on the Battle of Felucia, this happened.
Here we go. Yes. Yeah. Like I wouldn't even have
Anakin's
minded.
being a wiener about it.
Right. Like I honestly wouldn't have even minded. Yeah, if like we start the episode with Ahsoka already fucking lost. Like, how badass would that be? Like, we end the Citadel arc, and then the newsreel is like, yo, Ahsoka got captured, and you're like, wait, what?
Dude, is she gonna die like Evan Peel? Because he was captured.
Right. Yeah, like, just imagine, like, at the beginning of A New Hope, the news, like, or the scroll talks about the events of Rogue One, then we get like a 10-minute version of Rogue One, then we meet Luke, like, or we meet Darth, Leia, then Luke. Like, imagine all of, like, that's how I feel about this episode, right? Like, if the newsreel's purpose is to like get us into the story,
yeah,
Felucia is not the story,
right?
Because now we are on some other unnamed planet with unnamed Trandoshans, right?
What one of them is named?
Yes.
His name is Dar.
Dar. D-A-R.
D-A-R.
So we arrive on this planet. We do get a quick explanation as to why the Trandoshans are capturing people.
And it's stupid.
Very stupid. Sport hunting. That's all.
Okay. Here's the flaw in this.
Yep.
Here's my Filoni baloney for this episode.
Go for it.
They're going to capture people, then let them go, then hunt them down. Didn't they already win the hunt by getting them in the first place?
I don't disagree with you there. also, the other thing I was thinking too, why were they hunting in an active battle zone?
Don't know.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, to your point, the fact that they captured them is already a positive.
Right. Like, so Dar, this entire episode wants to kill a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He could have just shot Ahsoka instead of shooting her with a stun net.
Is
Done.
Dar the one that captures her?
I'm pretty sure.
Right. So, yeah. Yeah.
Because I think he captures her, and then before he drags her off, he's like, yes, the Jedi that I'm going to take for this hunt, and it's going to be my first Jedi kill.
Because I thought, I could be misremembering it already, but I thought, though, whoever captured brought her back and was like, well, I'm going to let my son kill this lady.
No, because I think I called that character Dardad.
Right.
Because we have Dar and Dardad.
Right.
And Dardad just sits on his throne, like, almost the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it was Dar that caught Ahsoka to begin with. And then when they get to Huasca, they just drop all the prisoners out the bottom of the ship. Right. And then Dardad says, oh, let's see who's smart enough to compete in our competition. And they the ship itself just opens fire and just tries to mow down all of these contenders. And two of them get away. Two of them are shot down
immediately. Yeah. So again, I don't understand why this all exists. Especially if they were able to capture again Ahsoka in the middle of an active battle. Like, how did nobody else find them? Right? Are they always capturing people in active battle, or where are they? Like, are they just kidnapping them from the park? I don't.
Maybe they're just going to random places to like pick up contenders. This is what I'm gonna call the prisoners.
The contestants, I guess. Like
contestants is probably a better.
Like like the Hunger Game participants, I guess. Is that what you call them? Like,
it is like a forced Hunger Game-esque thing. There's totally a movie that has some plot line like this.
You mean like Running Man?
No.
Battle Royale?
Maybe.
Like everything else that Hunger Games basically ripped off?
Maybe. Man, I'll have to think about that one.
The Most Dangerous Game, obviously, would be the
Predator
major influence there. Yeah, Predator is kind of different, though, because they were just in the jungles when the Predator showed up, right?
Yeah, maybe it's like a made-for-TV movie. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's The Most Dangerous Game meets Hunger Games before Hunger Games became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, so maybe, like, Running Man, Battle Royale, Most Dangerous Game. That's what I got out of this. But yeah, I agree with you. The rules of this are super bizarre. Ahsoka runs off and hides in the forest, and then she's found by 3 other kids, and they all introduce themselves as Jedi younglings as well, right?
Yeah, I didn't like that they continuously called themselves younglings.
Yeah.
Because they seem the same age or older than Ahsoka, so either they have been on this planet/moon for a long time, which means kudos to them. They've been surviving very well, right? They're doing good, not getting dead. Or they're really old younglings. So I tried to look it up, and it looks like generally the cutoff is around 13. In the old EU, 13 was like, you were a youngling. If you weren't chosen as an apprentice, as a Padawan, by the age of 13, you were just basically assigned a job. So you would go work in the agricultural corps. You would still be working for the Jedi, but you wouldn't get a lightsaber. You wouldn't go out and do the fighting. You would do all the stuff that the Jedi as a whole needed you were like the infrastructure, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So there isn't in new canon like a defined rule for that between like youngling and Padawan, and as we've seen, like Padawans can be assigned to people. It's not necessarily like a knight or a master that chooses, but
or Pokemon.
Or Pokemon. Somewhere in that age range of 13-ish is generally where the Padawan apprenticeship begins. So for these people, I don't know. Okay, there's a Twi'lek named Jinx. There's a female human named Khalifa, and all I could think of was like Wiz Khalifa this entire time.
Yep, I thought the same thing.
And there's a Serene named Omer. Serenes are the same alien species as drawing a blank here.
No, I got nothing for you there, good sir. So we shall move on. So yeah, those are our new 3 younglings: Khalifa, Omer, and Jinx.
But they definitely seem in like
names.
I would say
closer to like that 15 range for Khalifa.
Man.
She seemed.
I was thinking like late teens, early 20s.
I don't want to say that much, maybe, but I don't know. They do seem, like I get that's purposeful, but their development does seem arrested, because basically, starting off as soon as Ahsoka meets them, they're all like, well, like we've survived by being on the run, and Ahsoka's like, what do you mean run? Like we gotta fight, and they're like, hold up, no, we're the ones who have survived.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just got here, you don't know what's up.
Oh yeah, Wiz Khalifa totally pulls the experience card,
right?
Like Ahsoka does way long time ago.
Yeah, which I don't disagree with whatsoever. Somewhere around this time is also when we do get our first cut back to Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
They're still in Felucia. Rex comes by and is like, hey, we haven't found her. We don't have any traces of her. We don't know what happened. And
he says we've already looked everywhere like 12 fucking times, man.
Right. And Anakin's like, you're not doing your job. Go check again, which it's not uncharacteristic, but it's from a sympathetic to Rex viewpoint. It's super annoying, right?
I think back to Weapons Factory, because this is the same thing that happened in Weapons Factory, and Luminara like explained to Anakin like, hey, you have to be able to let her go. Like, that's what we're training our Padawans to do.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he didn't learn his lesson then.
Not at all.
Because he's doing the same thing here.
Yeah. One positive I would like to say that the face animation on Anakin in this scene is very well done. Like, the acting seems very sincere from a facial animation viewpoint. There's a lot happening here that is very well done. I like to bring it up whenever I do notice it, because I spent so much of, say, season 1 ragging on the wooden facial movements.
Marionation of nature of the show.
God, yeah. Where they looked like 1960s animatronics at Disneyland, right? And now they look like actual modern animations and not sad robots. So
I think that it's not just the facial animation on Anakin, but I think the animation on this episode was quite well done overall.
Yes, for sure.
There's a lot of really cool things. We've got some really awesome integration between background and foreground, and just like the composition of frame is well composed. So Dave rave on that one.
So then we cut back to Ahsoka plus her new youngling crew. Again, that's Khalifa, Omer, and Jinx. There's another round of Trandoshans going around on the hunt, right?
Yeah, we cut to the Trandoshans in their like hunting lodge.
Yes.
And it's a hunting lodge in which they have indoor bonfires, which is kind of odd. But we do get to see like this trophy collection that they have, and the ones that I could pick out just from like the panoramic view that we get are, you see a Wampa, lots of Wookiee pelts hanging on the wall, a Gundark, a Reek, an Ithorian, a Gran, a Gungan, and then what I think was a Filoni. That the Filonis are another wolf-like creature, not like the ones that we saw last week, the noobs, but a different one. Yeah. So it was either a Filoni or it was the one from, I think, Teth with the abominable snowmen creatures.
Yes.
It was one of their wolf things. But anyway, we get a space wolf thing also. So these Trandoshans, I guess they go up, they capture shit, they throw it down on this moon, and then they go and hunt it, and then they taxidermy it and put it in their hunting lodge.
Mm-hmm.
That's their game. That's their hunt. Again, seems odd that they're going to go capture something somewhere else to hunt it elsewhere.
Right. Again, that's why I was kind of thinking earlier. Like, I think there's a collective where they all go capture various things, drop it in the pot, and then, go for it from there. But anyways, then we get to our 4 younglings, I guess I will call them at this point. And they're hiding up in a tree. A new hunt has started. A couple of people run by, and the Trandoshans are basically on their tail.
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka wants to jump down from the tree to help these 2 unwilling participants.
Yeah, she says those are prisoners that came in with me. So one of them is the being that she felt on Felucia when she was like, I sent some funny business. And then one is another somebody.
They both get shot down.
Yep.
Basically. Yep. Right in front of her. And Ahsoka's like, hey, we could have helped them. And Khalifa's like, no, we hide. That's what we do. This, like, other people have also tried to fight back, and guess what happened to them? They died.
Yep.
So Ahsoka is like, well, just because they died doesn't mean we're going to die.
And specifically, those other people that did try to fight back were other Padawans that were brought to...
Yes.
What's the name of this moon?
Waska. Yeah, so, we're not talking about just, like, randos that tried to fight back. No, like, actual fully powered Force users also died on Waska here.
Right.
But Ahsoka's like, whatever, walks off, attacks the Trandoshan, right?
She says, here, lizard. It's the weirdest thing.
I don't understand. But she does force grab a Trandoshan, slams him around a little bit. But then he kind of gets his ass in gear, shoots at her.
Yep. He does fight back.
He does fight back, but still misses. Khalifa, finally inspired to get off her ass, is like, oh, I guess she is able to hold her own. So then I'll help. And then she chokes the Trandoshan, right?
Yeah, she's going to kill him.
Right. But then Ahsoka kind of stops her, right? Yeah, Ahsoka's like, hey, that's not who we are. But then...
yeah, she says you can't kill him out of anger. Not you can't kill him. You just can't kill him out of anger. Like, that's bad. Like, murder him, shoot him, kill him because...
Self-defense. Cool.
Like, right. That's good. But not
Stand your ground.
Not because you're pissed.
Yeah. Stand your ground, good. Kill because revenge, bad.
Right.
This, however, is a bad move because as soon as the Trandoshan kind of gathers himself, he makes a call signal
They have this
some sort?
awesome, like, velociraptor
Yes.
barking Jurassic Park-esque call.
Yeah. Cow, cow. Yeah, like something like that.
This was
that's the best I
fucking
can do.
cool. Yeah. Hey.
I agree, because like he kind of like gets on all fours and does like a spin around of some sort, right?
Yeah, I thought he was kind of catching his breath because he just had his
Something
windpipe
weird.
crushed. But,
Right. And then he makes a call with his crushed windpipe.
Yep.
After that happens, though, our Jedi Force users do finally knock him out, right?
Yep.
They like push him into a tree. I do want to say that when a Trandoshan passes out, he makes a very funny noise where he gets knocked into the tree, his head goes down, his tongue flares out of his open mouth, and he goes, "Whoa."
The wind is coming out of his sails, sir.
It was the weirdest noise, which I just found very entertaining. It tickled me very much because the visuals of it, along with that noise, just ugh.
And by the way, this quadro of young Jedi, I nicknamed the
quartet,
the Youngling Gang, which was abbreviated into YG, which then became Young Guns. So
yeah, nice, very nice.
We got our Young Gun group and beyond.
Our quartets of young guns.
I like the quartet even better.
Yeah, that would be the term there. So basically, they go hide off in a cave for the night.
Is it a cave?
Somewhere. I don't know.
It's like a bramble patch that's elevated in the air. Couple of things here. One, most recently when we had Peter from Rebels on here about a month ago, he was talking about convors. This is the first canonical appearance of convors. Or according to Wikipedia, it is convorees in the plural, but they are the owl kind of bird creatures that you see flying around. This is the first time that we see them. They are not named. They're just kind of background creatures, but this being directed by Dave Filoni, I think this is definitely something that he said, put these things in here, we'll get to them later.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's just planting the seed in the background. I thought that was really well done. Nice touch. Dave rave for you, Mr. Filoni. Secondly, the Serene Jedi that I was thinking of was Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi. So that is same species as Omar. We'll move on from that. Later in this episode, spoiler alert, we do get to a point where the attacking Trandoshans can't get in any further with their little flying pod things because the brambles are too thick. This is kind of where their base camp is that they return to nightly. The young guns, that is. Why don't they just stay there all the time?
I don't know. I was trying to figure out why they leave to begin with as well. Because, like, every time a hunt starts, they're, like, in the trees above where the hunt starts.
Right. And a hunter would be able to tell you that a hunter goes out when the prey is active. In this story, the prey comes out when the hunter is active. This is backwards. Like, what they should be doing, because the hunt goes from, like, sun up to sundown, which seems to be pretty quick on this moon. It seems to have a pretty quick rotation. But the young guns wake up when the sun comes up, and they're like, the hunt's going to start. Let's go run around.
Let's go out.
What they should do is go out at night, forage for food and whatnot, and look for supplies and things they need to escape or whatever, and fucking hide during the day.
And don't forget, Khalifa's like, we survived by hiding. And I'm like, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
I don't think it means what you think it means. Dig a big-ass hole.
Right. Anything. So, anyways, what happens next after they leave this this briar patch here? So kind of leading up to what you mentioned.
Yeah, Ahsoka
right?
had convinced them that they need to go on the offensive. They need to find the base, right?
Yes.
So they decide we're going to do this in the morning. We don't actually see them searching, which is nice for once. Like, they formulate plan has happened, they come back and they're like, what do we do next? We did the plan didn't, the plan failed. And Ahsoka's like, okay, let's replan, we need to look in these other areas. And then Omar is like sitting on the ground, looks up, sees the flying fortress, King Koopa's fucking flying castle, right?
Yep.
And he's like, I think we were looking in the wrong place. So then Ahsoka's like, oh shit, there it is. Like, we have to adapt.
They split up because the Trandoshans jump on down to continue hunting.
Yep.
Khalifa goes with Ahsoka, and the other two go off in their own merry way. Basically jumping ahead while Ahsoka and Khalifa are running off. Khalifa gets shot.
She does.
Like right through the chest. And it's very clear, very vivid.
Yes, and the reason this happens is during this fight, there's a lot of running, blasting, hiding, running, flipping, yada, yada, yada. Dar comes down and attacks Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had jumped ahead to the next Khalifa gets shot.
No.
Sorry.
So she gets shot once. And then, exactly what you said, there's a fight between Dar and Ahsoka. Then,
Ahsoka's got this awesome, like when Dar comes down to kind of finish off Khalifa.
Yeah.
There's some hand-to-hand combat there. Ahsoka steps in by jumping out of a tree and attacking Dar. They have some hand-to-hand combat, which lasts briefly and ends with this awesome, like, I don't even, roll, grapple,
and a
kick.
Yeah.
And he flies off the fighting platform and lands on a spike, impaled. And I was just thinking of like a awesome Mortal Kombat fatality.
Basically, yeah. And it's
what happens.
Fully on screen. There's no cutting away. We see the whole impaling happening.
I wish that we could like put the Konami code in or something for like the blood code so that we could see like the like full effect
it is
of
oddly,
this.
Yeah, it is oddly bloodless.
Mm-hmm.
The physics of this don't make sense because,
I'm down with
been
it, man.
Impaled with a large thorn, and there's, there just should be a movement of mass is basically what I'm getting at. Like, I don't need blood and guts per se, but I just need more than like a, like, oh, hey, we made this. Yeah. We made this clean hole here, and don't worry about where that stuff would have gone, right? Like, this is what happens. Like, great, cool.
You don't know. You are not an expert on Trandoshan biology. Trandoshanology. I don't know how that works.
Either way, it doesn't make sense. So basically, somehow Dar's father, who is unnamed but is apparently named Garnak.
Oh, shit. I thought his name was Dardad.
Dardad is good. But Garnak gets all pissed. He's like, oh, shit, they killed my son, which I don't know how he saw because he was like still sitting on his like floating platform out in the outside of the briar patch. He starts shooting at Ahsoka and Khalifa. Then Khalifa gets a full shot through the chest.
Yeah, I thought you jumped straight to this one. My bad for fucking that up earlier.
No worries. No. So Khalifa gets a full shot through the chest. She, however, keeps walking for a hot second, goes down, then keeps talking for quite a while.
Oh, yeah, this is when she begins to die. I'm going to quote you from last week.
She begins to die. Yeah, she begins to die. Yeah, there's a lot of beginning to die without actually just fucking dying. Just once, I would like to watch a movie or a show where somebody just fucking gets shot and goes down. Only a few movies have done this where, like, vital information is needed for somebody and they just get shot. There's no, like, oh, like, here's the seat. Nope, they're dead, right? Moving on. But here, not the case. There's a big thing. They talk for a long while. And Ahsoka's like, yeah, I promise you I'll look after the others. I'll never let go, Jack. Basically, that all happens. And then, she's got to run herself, right?
Huh?
So, and then that's kind of it there, right?
So there's one scene that happens after that.
One scene afterwards, but regarding the Ahsoka bit, so she runs off into the woods, and then we jump over. Yeah, I was trying to make sure I didn't miss something with that. So we jump back to the Jedi Temple with Anakin and Plo Koon. Anakin is still searching on a data board map thing.
Yeah, he's he's staring at a map. This is a
galactic
size map.
The whole galaxy. It looks like he's staring at. Plo Koon walks in and is like, look.
This is where he came up with the idea to send out fucking probe droids. Because I feel like this is what he's been doing. Is like looking at a map and like squaring shit off and like sending a fucking...
Go there.
Yeah,
go
sending
here.
A clone over there.
Yeah.
You check that entire sector. You check sector 7G. You go over there and look at that. You avoid Tatooine because nobody would ever fucking go there or hide there.
Yeah. Nope, never at all. So basically, Plo Koon is like, look, like if you are as good of a master as I think you are, you have trained Ahsoka to survive. That's what she will do. We will find her, or she will come back to us, but trust that she is a self-sufficient person to be able to do that.
And I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice. It was a nice message.
Like at the beginning of this, when we cut to Anakin staring at this map, I was like, man, this episode probably really could have ended like with Ahsoka walking off screen, especially because like Dardad, you can hear in the background is like still yelling, and he's like villain fist shaking, like I will get you and I'll have my revenge, and he's still shooting like this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And we could have, like, cut to music at that point, right?
Right.
But then we cut to Anakin, and I'm like, oh, dear Lord, why did we do this? But then Flo has this, like, well-articulated conversation with Anakin, like, look, we all have our jobs to do. He says, what is her strength? And Anakin says, well, she's fearless. And Flo's like, yeah, but that could also be a weakness. Like, tell me something else about Ahsoka. And Anakin says that she's the most determined person he's ever met. And Plo says, yeah, except for maybe you. Your determination needs to be focused elsewhere, because if you are as good of a master as you think you are and I think you are, you will have already taught her the skills that she needs.
Right.
And it's out of your hands. It's up to her. So let go.
I don't disagree that this is a good scene on its own. Mm-hmm. My only issue is, again, the fact that this is an Ahsoka focused episode,
and we end with this.
We end with Anakin.
Yeah,
that's the only issue I have here. It's a very good scene, but this kind of loops back to my problem with the start of this episode as well.
So the end of this episode, this is literally it. This is the conversation, and then do we get like a close up on Anakin or anything?
No. So it
like,
ends with the top down shot. It ends with the wide of the whole room that he's in.
Okay, and then it's Ira saying "Cue loud music."
Yep.
Dunzo.
Yep. Yeah. So it's like this is it. So yeah, the weird bookend of on both sides here of big battle to start and then closing with Anakin
Mm-hmm.
regarding an Ahsoka focused episode is so weird to me. Just from a storytelling standpoint. It's just I'm curious to see next week's episode to see if like the scene with Anakin plays out in any way, but really like I would have felt more of Ahsoka's danger and urgency of needing to figure her way out if we were solely focused on her point of view.
I'm going to make a prediction for next week, and next week the newsreel is going to be like, Anakin sits staring at a map. Ahsoka got off whatever fucking planet she's on. Here we go. And then some other shit happens.
Right. But you know what I mean though? Like if the story is like somebody like think of I already made the reference earlier and I didn't intend it to be this way, but like the Titanic is sinking, right? So like the fear of Titanic is that there are only so many fucking lifeboats and nobody's coming to help you, right?
Right. A lot of people are going to start to die.
You're fucking alone out there. If you start cutting away to other boats that might help out, like that undoes the sense of danger that everybody else is in.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So
yes.
That's why I don't understand why, like, as soon as Ahsoka gets removed from the situation, why we have to keep we don't keep seeing it, but that even the two scenes with Anakin undo any sense of danger I have that Ahsoka is in.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
and
I don't think that the Anakin scenes were necessary. If this story does continue next week, or you know, for the viewers of this, were they watching it when it came out, it would have been next half hour, whatever.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
If it does continue, then it would be a better choice to just condense those into one thing, like at the beginning of that episode. Anakin does seem to be learning a lesson that he has already learned here in a different way, right? Ahsoka does have some growth here. She's got some things that she needs to figure out, and the things that Plo Koon does point out are exactly what is happening, and it doesn't need to be like reiterated necessarily.
Yeah. It's tied up with a pretty bow. Like that's essentially what's happening here at the end. You know. So that said, do you want to jump in a thumbs up, thumbs down?
I do, man.
I'll let you start. Go for it.
Thumbs up.
All right. Yeah.
I enjoy this one a lot. It is well put together. The main plot of Ahsoka being on this moon, even though it is bookended with some Anakin stuff, the main plot is well articulated. I have a lot of questions as to why these events are happening, but that's just nitpicky, right? It is what it is. We got this hunt, we got this chase, we have Ahsoka thrown into the middle of this thing. She is lightsaberless. She has to rely on strictly her skills and her knowledge, and she has to go out on a figurative limb and a literal limb to use these other people, and she becomes the leader instead of the learner, and also learns along the way. Like, I'm 2 thumbs up on this one, man.
Cool. Yeah, I am so close to a thumbs up, but I'm siding thumbs down on this one. I agree with you. If this episode were more focused, you know, I would be there with a hearty recommendation.
Yeah.
But the script has so many problems. I am down for what they are serving us, but it's like they're giving me a hamburger like on a wood block instead of a plate, sort of thing, right? It's the manner in which it's being served is turning me off here.
Okay.
So like and like I said, I'm close. It's very right in the middle, but it's just sighting down because there are enough problems here that, like I said, my main one is by cutting back to Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel as present with Ahsoka as I should have been in. Like, if the idea is that Ahsoka being in danger and she needs to be, like, self-reliant and all of that.
Okay.
By knowing that Anakin is out there actively looking for her, takes any tension away that I would have had.
Okay. I don't agree, but I won't argue.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, velociraptors, like, it's how I felt about, like, Jurassic Park 3, like, knowing that Laura Dern, like, got a call, and then that's exactly how that movie resolved anyways, because there's a Deus Ex Machina, because she calls in the fucking, like, military, the Army, the Navy, and the Marines to, like, rescue Alan Grant, right? So, like, Ellie is the fucking savior of everybody. So, like, I already know that's happening, so she's out there floating around, right? So that's how I feel about here. Like, it'd be one thing if I just didn't know what was on Anakin's mind. Like, I'm surely they're out there.
Now,
surely Anakin's, like, looking for her, but, like, the fact if it was unknown, right? If it just wasn't a known quantity, like, that would make me feel better, right?
okay, question.
Yeah.
If next week, I guess that payoff doesn't pay off, and, like, Ahsoka does survive and get through all this on her own, and Anakin has just been a worrywart, will that change your opinion of this episode?
No, that just makes it worse. Like, that just makes this episode worse to me. Because then what is the point of seeing all of that? Like I would... Yeah, like, if Anakin is just being a worrywart, why are we seeing that? Like, to me, because, like, to me, the tension of the episode should be, can Ahsoka make it on her own?
Right.
But we keep cutting back to her master, who is trying to do what he can to help her.
Okay.
Right? But also, it's another one of those situations where it's like, I'm gonna keep bringing up, like, other references, try and, like, draw the comparison here. It's like, think of, like, 127 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the dude has his hand stuck between a rock and a literal hard place, right?
Yeah.
And you like, the title itself even tells you he's getting out, and yet you are there in that fucking cavern with him, right? You're there.
I mean,
now,
I guess
imagine,
he could have died after 126 and a half hours.
Right. But, or, like, that it's lasting that long, regardless. But just imagine if, like, every 10, 15, 20 minutes of that movie, they kept cutting back to, like, the cops, like, going, like, he is missing. We should probably go find him.
Okay.
You know? Like, it would just cut the tension, because you really just need to be stuck in that rock, right? You need to be there with that character. Like, stop pulling focus away from the main character's troubles and distracting me with this other fluff.
You know what distracted me in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
When he finally gets out and he runs up to, I don't know, there's like a group
it's like
of
two
people.
women. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I had my arm stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I had to cut my own arm off. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Why? Why did that bother you?
I don't know. It just does.
I mean, remember, he's dehydrated. It's been like 5 days.
I think it's just the line delivery.
Yeah. I think he was just in all sorts of exhaustion. But anyways,
let's pull back to Padawan Lost and not Arm Lost.
No. So that's why it doesn't matter what happens in the next episode, honestly. Okay. There's nothing that can fix this episode as delivered to us.
Okay.
Right? So
that's unfortunate. I did like this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
It is beautiful.
I see the positives of it for sure. I see the positives, but like I said,
awesome.
There are some big negatives here that weigh it down. Like I said, it was real close. I was enjoying. I think even if I had that first Anakin scene
Mm-hmm.
and then never saw him again, I would have felt better about it.
Okay.
But just the fact that right at the end, that tension is cut,
Huh.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
But also, to be fair, I didn't really care for our quartet besides Ahsoka,
yeah, Khalifa. I can feel for her, and then other than that, I think it was basically like, let's throw a Twi'lek in there, which I don't remember his name, and the Serene I kept calling Omar, and he's O-Mur.
Omer and Jinx. Yeah.
Jinx.
Yeah, 2 throwaway characters on a moon that I didn't know was a moon and was never named, but they kept talking about Felucia.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. It's
like
also
I said,
like a...
the logistics of the game don't make any sense.
Right.
But I like the game.
Also, it's kind of a weird story to bring up in the Star Wars universe, especially like as a season finale. It's a weird. This is my other issue too. So like looking big picture, it's like a weird personalized story. When like if this was like mid-season, I think I would have been more down for. But like at the end of season 3, I kind of need something that's going to like have repercussions for the Clone Wars as a whole.
I think that what that repercussion is supposed to be is the way that Anakin is able to deal with his Padawan growing and being able to let her be independent from him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Like, I think the very parts that you disliked about this episode, I think, is the message of the episode.
Well, here's a better way to deliver it then. Like, and this has happened in other things as well. But like, so this episode focuses on Ahsoka. Let's start the episode newsreel. Ahsoka's already been kidnapped. She gets dropped on Waska. The newsreel can mention that, like,
Waska.
Hey, they were on Felucia, but then Ahsoka gets kidnapped and taken to Waska, and now she's on the fucking run, Just imagine, yeah, like you fucking start Hunger Games, like, in the middle of the fucking battle, right? Then we don't see anybody else. We don't know where anybody else is. We're stuck on this moon with her. Episode ends. Then the next episode, we can do flashbacks that then go back, have concurrent events happening while Ahsoka is stuck on Waska here.
I gotcha.
Right? Like, I would, like, if we still want to get that message through,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. Like, we can then, in the next episode, have, like, an A plot, B plot.
Mm-hmm.
A plot being Ahsoka still working her way off the island, shall we say, with, home team trying to figure out where she crashed her plane, per se, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So she is the Amelia Earhart
Yes.
of your aviation history.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So like we have this whole thing, like it's like Saving Private Ryan, right? Like we know we get shots of where Private Ryan are, but we do then eventually see team coming up to try and find Private Ryan, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, but it's weird that we're going back and forth between team and Private Ryan, like instead of just the team on the hunt for Private Ryan, or vice versa, whatever you want to say, right?
Sure.
So like I'm not down for the messaging. I'm just down. I'm down on the delivery. So.
You just don't like the envelope that the letter was mailed to you in.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, like it's a burger that was delivered on top of a wooden a block of wood.
I'm not gonna lie. You can probably deliver a burger to me on anything other than a turd, and I will be thankful.
Oh no! Having just traveled a lot, this whole trend of creative plating, shall we say, slates, the rock slates that are being used in place of plates nowadays. I fucking hate those things. I fucking hate those. Number
Fair
one,
enough.
Wood blocks, how do you know they're clean? Wood blocks hold on to germs like a motherfucker. Then wood blocks and slates. The problem is like, oh, let me push this out of my way now that I'm done with the dinner. Oh no, like I misjudged how hard it would be to push this, and now I pushed it too much and it just flung across the table and slammed into the centerpiece. Like, and then like the weird thing that happens where like the server is like, are you done with that? And then they have to slide it off over your lap to have at least a little bit off the table so that they can actually get under it to pick that motherfucker up. But then, of course, by that point, because it's a fucking slate and not a plate, like the ketchup and the juices that dripped off the fucking burger are now in my lap because it's a fucking slate. And they had to shove the slate over the table. So all the shit that was on the table is now in my fucking lap. And no napkin in the fucking lap's gonna stop that shit. And then they're trying to pick this heavy fucking slate up, and they can only pick one up at a time because each slate weighs like 10 pounds. So the server's making like 4 fucking trips, so it takes for fucking ever. Yeah. No, just get me a fucking plate.
It's been a while since we've had one of these.
A super random rant.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. For the love of fucking God, serve your food on plates, not in any sort of weird cup container. No, like, oh, like it's gonna be a deconstructed burger that you put together yourself. No, that's what I'm paying you for. Get me a fucking burger. Get me my fucking food. Like, get me a goddamn plate like a civilized person.
I like burgers in all forms.
Not a block of wood. Nah.
This has been Lorenzo's lesson for the day. And
this is also why I have yet to eat at a Guy Fieri restaurant. So he does not like to put his food on plates. That said, if you'd like to agree or disagree with my rant on plates and creative plating, let me know the weirdest way you've had food delivered to you. Via Twitter. Yeah. Via Twitter at Not the Nerds. Facebook at Not the Nerds Podcast. If you'd like to email us, notthenerdspodcast@gmail.com. As always, you can also just comment wherever you're listening to this to. On Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. YouTube comments is a nice, easy way for us to look at comments as well. So these episodes get pushed to anywhere, everywhere, basically. As always, we like to give a shout out to Lindsay at strangefantasymusic@gmail.com. She wrote the music at the beginning and end of each episode. Also, the cover art is done by Kevin Warren at They Call Me K-Dub. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that if you want to point your friends in the direction of Lorenzo and myself, have them head over to notthenerds.com.
Yes.
Links and I think
our YouTube playlist shows up on that website, which is nice and fun.
It's all succinct there and it's easy to get to. Notthenerds.com. Next week we have a Wookiee hunt. Is that correct?
Indeed. Yep, Wookiee hunt indeed, and that will be the season finale for season 3 of the Clone Wars.
How about that? And
does that close out every episode of season 3 for us, or did we skip over?
It does.
Oh, okay, cool. Weird. Yeah. So we completely close out season 3. How interesting. All right. Just, I know we're like 103 episodes in. It just doesn't feel like that yet. So.
Yeah, well, 103 of the show, but only
69
of the Clone Wars proper. So
still, even 69 episodes in, it's weird that we're at end of season 3 already. So
yeah, it's pretty interesting. So,
but still, like the goddamn slates of food I got over the last couple of weeks. I did get a plate of buffalo wings, but they were they weren't wings. They were the boneless ones, right? The boneless guys, right? Yeah. So they were
those
these tiny little
wings.
nugs. Oh yeah, no.
Those are chicken nuggets.
Yeah, there were chicken nuggets, but I was at a restaurant where it was like lunch was lounge service, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And we were at a hotel where there was nowhere else to go to because we were in LA, and our producer doesn't understand how LA works, and none of us had cars, and I was like, I guess we're eating lunch upstairs at the one restaurant within 3 miles here. And each little chicken nug had its own long stick in it. I was like, why did you guys impale all of my food for me? Like, why? And they're all like small little pieces, and it was like inconsistent because like there are some pieces that had it. It was like maybe 80% of my food had a wooden stick in it already. It was so annoying. So annoying. Anyways,
Lorenzo,
that's been my
love
rant.
you, man, but I don't think anybody else cares.
Nobody cares. Just, let me know how annoying food can be in restaurants nowadays. That said, I've been Lorenzo.
Kevin Horde here.
These aren't the nerds you're looking for.
Bye-bye.